This. What a big day. Your thoughts this morning, Joe?
Oh, well, it is a huge day. And, of course, Willie, as always on election mornings, how you can tell it's election morning, right?
Is it the sweater, Joe?
Yes, exactly. I get the sweater out once every 4 years, just for election day.
It looks really nice.
Going back to what year, Willie? What was the first? Was it Truman?
Dewey defeats Truman, yeah, 48, yeah.
Yeah. And after that, it was just sort of a good luck charm, and things went from there. Well, listen, sweaters aside, there are a few other things to talk about today. What I'm struck by, Willie, is that from Donald Trump's first day in office, when he talked about American carnage and lied about crowd sizes and really, I think, embarrassed a lot of people inside his White House and across the country, and immediately called for a, quote, Muslim ban, which, remember, very early on, shut down airports, shut down large chunks of this country. We had the Women's March that Sunday, and the country really came to a standstill for that weekend. And since that day, people have been waiting almost 4 years for this moment. And obviously a lot of people on Donald Trump's side, too, that support him, wanting to show that they support this extraordinarily divisive president who has been using division to divide America quite successfully over the past 4 years. But today is the day, and my gosh, if you just look at the numbers of people who've already voted and you talk to election officials in Florida, they think they may break all-time records, going over 80% today. That's just, it's a remarkable thing, especially in the age of COVID, when the president's own advisor says things are about to get worse than they've ever been.
Yeah, you know, that number, the early voting number, is astonishing, and it is inspiring to see that many people who waited in lines that long. I waited in a 5-hour line last Tuesday, and then this morning on same-day voting, I'm coming into work at 4:30 in the morning. You see people already lined up at their polling places. It is inspiring however you're going to vote, but you're right, the country's been through so much for the last nearly 4 years. You can throw in the Mueller investigation, impeachment, and now we end here in the middle of a pandemic that most people believed could have been stopped or slowed a long time ago. So we'll be watching, starting as the polls close at 7 o'clock, down right through. We'll look at Georgia, then a little bit later we'll look at Florida, and we'll look at North Carolina. Steve Kornacki is going to help us in a minute to see exactly where this race is headed. But it's funny you bring up Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2017. We've literally been in perpetual campaign since that day, because that is the day President Trump filed for re-election. The day of his inauguration, about 5 hours later, he filed with the FEC to run again. And then last year, on April 25th, Joe Biden entered the race. So that's been a year and a half since then. It's been a long campaign, and now finally we are